Hello, everyone. Imagine this for a moment. A company invests millions into a system. The team is talented, the technology is advanced, everyone is working hard, but after a few months, deadlines are missed, budgets increase, teams become frustrated, and the project slowly starts falling apart. Now, here's the interesting part. Most projects, they don't fail because people are not skilled. They fail because there was no proper project management. And that's exactly why project management matters in every industry today. Whether you're working in IT, business, construction, healthcare, finance, or even daily operations, project management it gives structure, direction, and control. So in this season, we are going to simplify the fundamentals of project management in a practical and easy to understand way. And by the end of this training, you will clearly understand what a project really is, why project management is important, the role of a project manager, scope, time, and cost management, then different project methodologies, and the key skills which will be required to successfully manage projects. So let's begin our journey into the world of project management. Now, what is a project? A project is a temporary endeavor which is undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. What is the key characteristics of a project? It is temporary in nature, okay, and it has a clear start and a finish date. It is goal oriented and it has a unique outcome. It requires a lot of planning and coordination as well. Now, let's take some examples. It could be implementing a new ERP system, an office relocation, developing a mobile application or any website, conducting an IT security audit, and launching a new website. Now, what is project management? It is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources to achieve project goals successfully. So, some of the major objectives of a project management would be that they have to deliver the project on time, and then they have to make sure that they stay within the budget. They have to meet all the quality expectations of the stakeholders. There may be so many risks associated with the project, so they have to manage them effectively. They have to satisfy the stakeholders. And in a simple explanation, it would be that the project management it ensures that the work is completed in a structured, controlled, and successful manner. Now, what is the importance of project management? The benefits would be it has reduces the confusion, it enhances teamwork, it minimizes the risk, it increases the efficiency, and it improves customer satisfaction and helps to achieve the business goals. So, what happens if we don't have a proper project management in place? It can lead to missed deadlines, budget overruns, scope confusion, poor communication, and eventually a project failure. Now, who is a project manager? It is the person who is responsible for leading the project team and who ensures a successful project delivery. So it is a project manager who does all the coordination in the team and make sure everything is in the limit. Yeah. Now, responsibilities would be planning the project activities, managing the timelines, coordinating the teams, then managing the risks and issues, communicating with the stakeholders, monitoring all the progress, and ensuring a successful delivery. What are the key skills that a project manager needs? First would be leadership, communication, problem solving, decision making, time management, negotiation. So that's a very long list. Now, what is a project scope? A project scope will define the work that must be completed to successfully deliver a project. So, a scope would clearly explain what should be included in the project, what should be excluded in the project, what are the actual project deliverables, and the project boundaries and expectations. Now, scopes can be two types. One is a product scope. A product scope would be, it will be the features and the functions of the final product. A project scope would be the work that is required to deliver the product. So if a product scope is the features of a mobile phone, then a project scope would be the phases that we go through to develop that product. Now, coming to the triple constraint of project management. So, projects are usually controlled by three main factors. One is the scope, which we discussed earlier, of what needs to be delivered. Then the time, that is the schedule and the deadlines that we need to meet. Then the cost, the resources and the budget that is involved in the project. So, what is interesting is that each of these constraints are interdependent on each other. So changing one would affect the others. Okay. Next, we will go to project versus operations. So let's go to through the key differences of project and operations. So as we have discussed earlier, project is something which is temporary in nature, but operations is something that is ongoing. Yeah. Project is unique in nature, and operations is a standard and a repeatable process. Now, project has a clear goal that needs to be achieved, whereas operations, it supports the organization's ongoing goals. In a project, there would be cross-functional teams involved, whereas in the operations, there is a functional structure. That is, the people would have permanent roles and responsibilities. Projects always comes with limited resources, and operations have ongoing resources. Then in a project, we can expect changes in the scope, timeline, and cost, whereas in operations, they mainly focus on stability, efficiency, and there would be minimal changes. Projects are time bound in nature, and operations, they don't have any end date and it operates indefinitely. Now, coming to the PMI Talent Triangle. So, the PMI Talent Triangle, it will represent three skill areas that is required for an effective project management and professional success. The first one is the ways of working. So ways of working would include how a project is defined, managed, and delivered. So the approaches that we take, like the Agile, Waterfall model, the risk management, then scheduling, they're all under the ways of working. Next, we have power skills, which focuses on the leadership, communication, and the teamwork abilities of the project manager. And then we have leadership, negotiation, communication, problem solving. They're all part of it. Yeah. Then we have business acumen, which aligns projects with organizational goals and business value. Example, strategic alignment, financial awareness, governance, and value delivery. Now, this image that you see here is the PMI Talent Triangle. Now, coming to the project life cycle. So, all project, they move through 5 key phases from start to finish. First is initiation, where the project idea is defined, the objectives are all planned, or objectives are initiated, and the approvals are met. Next is planning, which defines the scope, it creates the plan, allocates resources, and we identify the risk. Execution is the most important part, where the majority of the planned work is executed and the project output is delivered. Then we have to monitor and control the project. We have to track the progress. If there is any issues, we have to log them. We can measure the performance and manage the changes or issues. The last is the closure of the project, where the project is completed and we obtain a sign off, and then we officially close the project. Now coming to the types of project methodology. So project methodologies are like structured approaches which we plan, manage, and deliver the projects effectively. So the project methodologies depend on certain factors. That is project complexity, the business requirements, the team structure, the flexibility that is needed, and also the risk and uncertainty level. Let us now briefly look at the common types of project methodologies that is used across the organizations today. First, we have the predictive or waterfall methodology. This is a structured and sequential approach where each phase is completed before moving to the next. Okay, it is best suited for projects where the requirements are clear, stable, and well defined from the beginning. Next is the iterative or the iterative methodology, where the solution is developed through repeated cycles or iterations. With every cycle, the product is gradually improved and refined based on the feedback and learning. Then we have the incremental approach, where the project is delivered in small functional parts called increments. So instead of waiting for the entire project to be completed, organizations can start using portions of the solution much earlier. Then we have the agile or the adaptive methodology, which focuses on flexibility, collaboration, customer feedback, and continuous improvement. So it also allows the teams to quickly adapt to changes and deliver the value faster. And finally, we have the hybrid methodology, which combines the elements of both predictive and agile approaches. So it is very structure. It provides structure where it is needed, and also it will allow flexibility in areas which requires a rapid adaptation. Now, each of this methodology has its own strength, processes, and practical application. Now, in the coming videos, we will explore each of these methodology in details. They will include how they work, where they are used, their advantages, the limitations, and the real world examples. And with that, we are come to the end of the session. Thank you for joining me in learning the fundamentals of project management. This is Jessie signing off. Thank you.